we're doing a little bit of a different video today. This one is taking us literally months to do, largely because of winter getting in the way. But we are going to play with our three primary fabrics, our oilskin, our 10 ounce, and our 13 ounce canvases. These both being flame retardant and waterproof, and the oilskin being waterproof and not at all flame retardant. So, come along, let's see what kind of abuse we can put these fabrics through, and hopefully it'll help you make decisions on what kind of tent you might want to have. You want to say anything? Nope? Alright. Stick around.
Alright, so for this portion of the experiment, we're going to take our 10 ounce Sunforger, 13 ounce Sunforger, both of those are flame retardant, and our oilskin, throw it in the oven, which is currently set at 170 degrees. I can only get my oven down to 170, trying to emulate the inside of a hot car, which from what I've read generally doesn't go over about 145, 150. I'm going to stick it in here for about an hour, actually probably closer to 2. You see I've got some parchment paper there to collect anything that happens. So, we'll see what happens. And here they all are going into the oven. We'll visit them in an hour and then probably in 2. Alright, so our hour is up. We'll kill that. Let's take a look inside the oven here. Now, lighting here is not that great. Do not recommend doing that at home, but you know, here's a blacksmithing. I can't always feel things like that. Let's take a look. Nothing has really changed. They all feel very much the same. I'm gonna fold the oil skin on top of itself. I'm curious to see if anything happens with it maybe seeping through. Looking at the paper underneath, it doesn't appear to have any drippings or change. So far, after an hour, I'm inclined to say not a big impact of, you know, a hot car, say if you left a tarp in there, on your materials. We'll close up, set another hour on here, because I know I've left my tarp in my car for far longer than 1 or 2 hours. And we'll come back and see what happens. And here we are, 2 hours in. We have a little discoloration in the white. I'm willing to bet that has to do with my oven being dirty. None at all on the 13 ounce. And no real change to the oilskin. I'd be lying if I said I didn't expect something there. Ignore the remnants of tonight's dinner, but next experiment involves cold. Once more, we're back to the deep freezer. We're going to look at some of this. Let's just take a peek over here. This is the fabric that has only been in the freezer. This fabric over here is the same fabric that I had in the oven earlier. So I'm putting these 3 pieces through all the abuse. But let's take a look over here at just what happens when you take fabric and freeze it. Now, as I said, it was in the deep freezer for over a week. This is the 13 ounce, which I can say, aside from being really cold, I don't see there being any evidence of any strain or stress on that at all. We'll jump, let's go over here. And look at all the lovely ice pops here. Let's look at
Our 10 ounce, again, feels the same. I don't sense any weakness there. It's certainly not, you know, it's going to wrinkle and everything the same, but no change. And finally, our oilcloth. This is the one I'm most curious about because I have a feeling, you know, if anything was going to take abuse, it would be this. But honestly, I mean, it wrinkles no differently than before. I'll be very curious to see if there's been any impact on the weather or on the waterproof nature of these, but I highly doubt it. All right, we are inside to do our water test. I've got some help from Percy. Do you want to wave over here? There he is. He's going to be operating the sprayer, so you can hear the water running already. There is a dishwasher running in the background, my apologies, but this shouldn't be too long and shouldn't be too involved. Let's see how it goes. All right, Percy, let's make it rain. We're starting with the oilskin, and Percy's going to give it a massive deluge like you'll hopefully never see in your life.
It's pouring off.
It's pouring off. All right, buddy, stop it. Yeah, we're completely dry on this side except around the edges where where it kind of sprayed up. This is honestly what I expected to fare the worst, and so far no problem. Let's go on to 10 ounce. Hit me.
It's pouring again.
Yeah, it's just running off. There doesn't seem to have been any impact on the waterproofing. Of course, with canvas, as this continues to get wet, the cotton itself will shrink and tighten up. Turn it off. But nothing's coming through the other side there. Finally, the 13 ounce, which we all know how this is going to go. Just beating up. I should note that these three are the ones that were in the oven and then also in the deep freezer. So they've been through all the abuse so far. Turn it off. I just love how that rolls off. We all know that the weak spot of any tent or tarp in the rain, yes, in the rain is going to be the seams. That said, there's none of these tests would have an impact on the seams because we use nylon thread that is way more resistant than the canvas is to these sorts of abuses. So that's the water test for now. Next up, I think we're going to do fire. All right. So finally, we are finishing up. We hope.
I hope it doesn't get fuzzy at the beginning.
Yeah, last time Percy and I did this, it was a little dark out here, and so we had to reshoot.
Redo.
But the problem is we had winter get in the way. In fact, we just dumped that block of ice out of there. Percy dumped that block of ice out of our fire pit.
Yeah, because there was water under it, so it says slid out.
But we are now going to do our final test, where we are going to take the oilskin, the 10 ounce flame, Sunforger flame, and the 13 ounce Sunforger flame. See what happens when we subject them to fire. Here's our setup, super scientific. We have a couple fire bricks here in our fire pit.
Remember we laid the fabric down?
We will. And we're going to light just a tea light here because just do a single flame exposure.
We know
Let's not,
oils.
Don't give anything away. They're going to have to find out and watch, right? We're going to try. All right. Percy has seen this before because we did it once before.
Yeah, and then the beginning turned out a little fuzzy.
So we're hoping this turns out better. We're going to start with the oilskin. Now we have we went to a new candle. The last one was petering out, so we are.
You might see.
They don't. It's fine, buddy. We've got the same setup as last time. We've started the timer. I'll get more exact timing off of the camera. Our oilskin, it's been only a few minutes since it engulfed and it's completely gone. Over here there are a few smoldering scraps that don't go near wood shards.
I was just checking on it.
Slowly dying out. So let's see how the Sun Forger 10 ounce does. Alright, we're at our 5-minute mark. I'm gonna pull this off. I think we might put the oilskin not on the ground, back on again just to see what happens. But let's take a look at what we've got here. It's 5 minutes
That's a really dark spot.
of exposure to that candle a few inches away. We're gonna see what happens now if we
If
directly expose that same spot to the candle. I'm trying to get this to catch on fire, and I've got a really good ring smoldering out here. Thank goodness we're outside because it smells horrible. I haven't actually hasn't become flame yet the way the oilskin did. Alright, I've been trying, as you can see, very hard to get this thing to burn. I'm going to let it sit off to the side and smolder for a bit and see what happens, but it's tough to do. Actually, let's do the oilskin again now that we have the wind block. I'm curious to see if that affects its time. Alright, we're going to restart our time on the oilskin. Please don't touch. There you go. So, flame retardant. Still chars, still burns. It's the embers have gone out on it already. When it's removed from a flame source, it does pretty well. But it will burn if it stays in contact with enough heat and flame. It'll burn.
Daddy,
Yes.
I'm hungry.
Always hungry, aren't you? Because we are now a minute and a half in and I have a lot of smoke coming out. Thankfully there's just enough of a breeze that's carrying it away from Percy and I. I'm going to want to breathe this. Alright, we've been over 5 minutes, so we're
Definitely gonna get.
here's where we are. Looks a lot like the other canvas, but you can see there's a lot of discoloration and movement around that area.
Daddy.
If I take this, can you hold on while I'm talking? If I take this area here that's been exposed, it's really hard to get that in. I'm just going to do a corner. Let me get my butt in the seat. Start counting. Can you count for me, buddy? 1, 2. Oh, never mind. We're already caught. 2 seconds against the flame, and it's going. Oh, that was impressive. All right, smother it out. The famous test is, oh look, these sparks won't ignite it, so an ember isn't going to catch you on fire. Of course, I've already got scorches up here where I've been striking. This isn't even a very large or impressive striker. And as we know, embers will sit where they are. And within 2 seconds of touching an edge to the flame, I catch on fire. This is why we say we don't put these near fire. Shall we do the last one?
Yeah.
All right. Last up, 13 ounce Sun Forger, flame resistant. We'll give it the same 5 minutes we've given everything else. I honestly don't expect, whoop, it's way up here. So we'll give that the same 5 minutes. This is the Sunforger 13 ounce, flame resistant. We'll give it the same time.
Really cold. Now I'm really cold.
Yeah, do you need to go in?
I don't want to, then I'll be lonely.
Well, we're almost done with this. We only have
Yay!
4.5 minutes left.
Yay! So in 20,
In 5 seconds.
in 5 seconds, we will talk about all of them.
All right, so
Now we are
Here's-
after.
here's what we've got on the, this is the tan, not the suntan, 13 ounce Sunforger. Got some discoloration. We'll go ahead and do the same thing we did with the white.
Well, after we
Just
do
wait,
it,
just wait, we'll find out. All right, exposing it directly. Not yet. All right, now we have, I did get this one to catch. I think partially because I've got the whole cigar roll going on here. But it is actually starting to burn in a way that
look out for your hands.
I wasn't able to get this going. Let's see if I can use this to get this catching.
And the other half. After
There
that
we
one
go.
catches on fire, then we let that half on fire.
So I can get both of these guys to engulf with direct flame. Yep, I
There's
know.
another half. Woo!
It does tend to go out quickly,
I
or at
think-
least on the white.
I think I'm gonna
That one's
back
going
up.
to go pretty well.
I'm gonna back up.
Don't try this at home like we are.
Yeah, don't try this at home.
So there you go, folks. Flame retardancy is going to buy you 10 to 15 seconds of direct flame contact before it might go straight up. That was on an area that had been exposed to the heat for a while. And so this is, of course, an incredibly non-scientific, buddy, get out of the smoke. Thank you.
Daddy?
Incredibly non-scientific experiment, but shows you a little bit about our canvas and what it can handle.